morning, Ontario Real Estate Association. My name is James Malonis, and I'm your 2021-2022 Young Professional Networks Chair. I am joined today by Greg Schneider, who is the Senior Customer Service Manager for Mona Chappelle. Greg, nice to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us and telling our membership about LifeWorks at Mona Chappelle.
Thanks, James. It's really a pleasure to be here. Let me just show my screen and we can jump right into the presentation.
Absolutely. I'm going to just turn my camera off. The floor is yours, and we'll answer all questions at the end.
So again, thank you very much, everyone. It's really exciting to be here with you all today to walk you through your Members Assistance Program by LifeWorks by Mona Chappelle. As introduced, my name is Greg Schneider. I'm a Senior Customer Success Manager, and again, just really excited to be with you all today. I've put together a pretty simple agenda to help guide our talk today. We're going to start by talking about all the different services available to members, talking about the different ways that you can access the program, and then we'll jump into a live demo of the brand new LifeWorks platform. There'll be time at the end for our Q&A, so if you don't mind maybe just being on mute for during the call as we are recording it, there'll be lots of time for Q&A at the end. So to start, I think it's important to understand the foundation of this program. And by that, what I mean is that all of our services are designed to be completely voluntary and completely confidential within the limits of the law. And we'll talk about confidentiality in detail in the next slide, because we know that no one is going to use our programs unless they're confident it's confidential. In terms of program eligibility, I want to emphasize that this benefit is not only for yourselves as members, but it also extends to members of your immediate family, including your spouse or your common law partner, your dependents up to the age of 21 or 25 if they're still full-time in school. And OREA has also extended the benefit to anyone living in your household as well. So let's talk a little bit more about privacy and confidentiality, because it really is the cornerstone of the program. And this slide highlights the number of the safeguards that we have put in place to protect your privacy and your confidentiality. So all of our counseling offices, again, in a normal operating environment, so pre-COVID and hopefully one day soon post-COVID, all of our counseling offices have separate, or the majority of them have separate entrances and exits, again, to minimize the chance of bumping into someone that you might know. And all of our counselors are contractually bound by not booking back-to-back appointments with members of the same association. I also want to emphasize that if we do need to get a hold of you for whatever reason, whether that be over email or voicemail, we will not do so without your permission, and even with your consent, we'll only leave a very discreet message. I also want to emphasize that at absolutely no time will anyone within the organization ever found out that you're using any of the resources or services that we're going to talk about today, unless you specifically choose to disclose that information. So that being said, in Canada, there are 3 legal limitations to confidentiality. And I want to emphasize this applies to all counseling services, regardless of whether or not it is services within your MAP. Those being 1, imminent danger to yourself or others. So in those circumstances, our counselors are legally obligated to report that to the authorities, to the police. The second one along that same line of thought is child abuse. And again, in those circumstances, our counselors will be legally obligated to report the issue to Children's Aid. And the last one, in the very rare circumstance, is a court-ordered subpoena. So should your counselor be subpoenaed to attend a court of law, they would be required to answer any questions put forth to them. Again, if there's any questions regarding privacy or confidentiality, I am more than happy to address those at the end of the presentation. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on this slide. It's really just setting the stage of what we're going to talk about in the first part of today's presentation. But the point I do want to emphasize is that if I were to ask probably 9 out of every 10 people what they think of when they think of a members assistance program or an employee and family assistance program, almost always the answer we get is counseling. Couples counseling, addictions counseling, etc. So one of the key takeaways from today's talk is to discuss how much more comprehensive this benefit is. People don't think of accessing your MAP for nutritional advice or free legal advice, financial advice. So well more than just counseling, as we'll talk about today. So the easiest way to break down our services is to start by breaking them down into these three simple categories. We'll start by reviewing our short-term counseling services. We'll then review our full suite of work, health, and life services. And then we'll jump into a live platform demo of the new LifeWorks platform. So probably one of the most common questions I always get asked is, well, Greg, what exactly does short-term counseling mean? And essentially it is solution-focused or goal-oriented counseling. So on your first appointment, your counselor is going to work with you, develop an action plan, and over the next several sessions, help you achieve those results. So the average experience is around a handful of sessions, but in general, I move the conversation away from the number of sessions to the number of goals that are mutually set to accomplish between you and your counselor, because that is what is essentially going to determine the appropriate amount of care. So as I said, the average experience is about a handful. That's just an average. So on one end of the spectrum, someone may get all the tips and tools they need in just 2 or 3 sessions. Now at the farther end of the spectrum, someone may receive up to 10 to 12 sessions, again, depending on the goals that are set out between you and your counselor. There are a couple points that I want to emphasize. One is that all of our counselors have a minimum of a master's level education and a minimum of 5 years of clinical experience. I also want to emphasize that we have over 3,000 counselors in our network across the country. So perhaps you have a son or daughter attending college or university in a different city or even province, they can receive support locally, regardless of their place of residence across the country. This slide highlights all the different modalities that our counseling services are available in. Again, right now, the majority of our counseling is being conducted through telephone counseling or video counseling. But in a normal operating environment, there's absolutely always face-to-face counseling available. But people do love the convenience of these more non-traditional modalities. They don't have to commute across town. They don't have to rely on public transportation. A lot of people are just more confident in the comfort of their own home. We also have a full suite of online tools that we'll talk about when we talk about the LifeWorks platform. And a couple of years ago, we introduced an instant chat service that's called First Chat. And this service is available both on our desktop version of the LifeWorks platform as well as the mobile app. And you can use it in 2 different ways. One, you can use it just to book your appointment in real time, get on with your day. Or secondly, to actually connect with one of our counselors 24 hours a day, instantly in real time, regardless of whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's always a counselor available to support you immediately through First Chat. I love this new service. If I were to call myself maybe a handful of years ago when I was off at university, if I needed support, literally at that time, my options were pretty limited. It was either call Kids Help Phone or call my mom. But in both instances, I had to pick up the phone and call someone. Now I can connect with the counselor instantly in real time, right over instant chat. As you can see on this slide, you can also take advantage of our online group counseling service. Online group counseling is great for individuals who are struggling with anxiety and want to connect with others that are going through similar circumstances and discuss as a group what's working, what's not. Where the counselor will act both as a moderator to help keep the conversation on track, as well as a counselor providing tips and advice to help you with that presenting issue of managing your anxiety. But really, at the end of the day, it's all about choice. So by having these options allows you to receive support in the way that you want, which will hopefully result in better outcomes. So another category of services included with your members assistance program is what we like to call our work, health, and life services. And these services provide callers with resource material and customized information packages where appropriate. So as these services are really designed to be consultative and then resource-based, the following suite of services are designed to be telephonic, so please do keep that in mind. We'll start by reviewing our suite of family support services that pretty much covers every stage of life. So everything from family planning to expectant to new parents, to newborns, to toddlers, to teenagers, and anything in between. We'll work with you to customize these parenting packages, and we even supplement that information with expert written textbooks where appropriate. I'll use my family as an example. My wife, when she was expecting with my son, she had all these questions regarding pregnancy, regarding sleep and nutrition, etc. So by calling the Members Assistance Program, they were able to customize a specific folder of resources for her based on her specific question set. and then rounded out that experience by including a very popular parenting book, What to Expect When You're Expecting. Literally the same resources that you are probably going to Chapters and Indigo and purchasing out of your own pocket because you didn't know they're available through your Members Assistance Program. We can also help families source licensed childcare providers in your local community as well. I'll use my family as another example. We literally have families and friends that visited over 10 different childcare providers, spent hours of their own time. We literally only visited 3 because we literally eliminated 7 before we even walked in the door. By calling EFAP, they sent us a concise package, or MAP, sorry, they sent us a concise package, all the child care providers in our community, all the service they provide, all the fees associated, waiting list information were available, all the programs they run, special accreditations they have, literally all the information we were looking for in one concise package. Saved us hours of our own research time. We also have resources for families regarding the adoption process, both in country or out of country, perhaps you're considering. We have resources for children with special needs, and we also have a full suite of elder care support. So very similar to our childcare provider service, we can help source residential care options in any community across the entire country. So I live in London, Ontario, so I'll just use that as an example. Maybe you're living in London and your parents are living in Vancouver. We know you're not going to be able to commute there every weekend, and it's going to start causing you and your family some degree of stress, right? What are we going to do? So give us a call. We'll take all that heavy lifting off your shoulders. We'll send you that concise package, all the residential care options in Vancouver or wherever your parents are living across the entire country. You as a family can then sit down, review all that information, hopefully making those important decisions so much easier. If you're not looking at residential care, maybe you're considering hiring a home care provider. We have a great checklist to make sure you're asking all the right questions and hiring a home care provider. And our team is also excellent at helping you source community resources with regards to elder care support as well. And all of that is found under family support. So as you can see on this slide, you can also take advantage of our nutritional support services provided by our team of registered dietitians who can work with you to customize nutritional plans. So common examples would be healthy eating, maybe weight loss or weight gain in some situations. Maybe it's diabetes management or cancer prevention. Eating for energy is quite popular these days. We can assist you with all of these types of things. Pretty much anything related to diet, our team of registered dietitians can work with you to support. So as you can see on this slide, you can also take advantage of our health coaching services provided by our network of registered nurses. But I will emphasize that this service is not intended for medical emergencies. This is not a 24-hour service like it is for our counseling services, but a great tool to help put strategies in place regarding any health risks you might be experiencing. So perhaps you just came back from the doctor and they said, Greg, your blood pressure is a little high, or glucose levels, or cholesterol, or whatever those risk factors may be. You can get connected to one of our registered nurses and they'll work with you telephonically over a period of time to helping you put strategies in place to help mitigate those risks, helping you get those risk levels back closer to normal levels. Our health coaches are also excellent at helping cross-refer into some of our other services that we have for our nutritional services as a good example. And the last service on this slide is called Lift Session. And Lift Session is basically a digital or virtual exercise program. So the easiest way to access Lift is directly through the LifeWorks platform, which I'll show you when we do the demo. But it is essentially about a 6-week exercise program with 3 30-minute classes every single week. And when you first sign up, it'll ask you your fitness goals, really from everyone, from beginners to people running marathons and everything in between. It'll customize an exercise program based on your specific needs. So common examples would include maybe strength conditioning, maybe stretching or weight loss, weight gain, just general fitness, exercise, etc. So I highly recommend checking it out. We received amazing feedback on our Lift Session virtual fitness program. So we also include a full suite of professional advisory services included within your members assistance program as well. You can call in and get free legal advice from our national network of lawyers. I will emphasize that word lawyer because All services will always be provided by a lawyer, so never a paralegal as an example. And some common examples would include issues like landlord and tenant law, real estate law, all aspects of family law, so child custody or separation and divorce is common examples, criminal law, civil litigation, wills and estates planning is really popular. We can help you with all of these things. Now, I always recommend to write down your questions in advance before giving us a call or before your appointment with the lawyer, just to making sure your conversation is nice and focused. And at the end of that telephonic consultation, if you do need representation or just want to go see a local lawyer in your community, we can assist you with that referral. And by taking advantage of the referral through your members assistance program, there are two main advantages to you. One, you will receive a free in-person 30-minute consult with that referred lawyer, just making sure you're happy with their expertise and their rate schedule going forward. And then secondly, if you were to retain their services, there's up to a 20 to 25% discount off your legal fees going forward. So potentially saving you and your family thousands of dollars. I will emphasize that word retainer fees because unfortunately more transactional types of services are not provided at a discount rate. So for example, being realtors, unfortunately real estate law is not offered at a discounted rate, or neither are more other transactional services like drafting a will as a good example. But when the time comes when you do need some free legal advice, again, please keep your members assistance program in mind. So as you can see on this slide, you can also take advantage of our financial support services, where our team of financial experts can work with you to help put financial strategies in place regarding all life's events. So planning for retirement, saving money for that, buy that new home or that new car, saving money for your kids' college and university funds. We can help you with all of these types of things. But our service is really designed to be around strategy. Please note that we are not a financial investment firm. So when clients start asking us what specific funds they should be purchasing, again, unfortunately, we are not licensed in that regard, but can work with you to provide a referral to an appropriate financial advisor in your community. Now, on the LifeWorks platform, there's also some digital tools to help really personalize that experience. So I always recommend to call in and get the financial advice first from the expert over the phone, and then use the digital tools on the platform to really help personalize or customize that experience. So as you can see on this slide, you can also take advantage of our career counseling services. Again, really typically aimed at helping employees, so more aimed at employees rather than members, grow within the organization. So we have a great career planning tool that helps individuals establish sort of where they're at today, where they'd like to get to in the future, and the skill set really in order to help bridge that gap. As part of this service, our team of experts can help customize cover letters and resumes, do mock interview, Q&A, even personality testing. We use a condensed version of the Myers-Briggs test. So for anyone familiar with this popular personality test, if you were to use it outside of your members assistance program, it would cost upwards of about $200 to $250 and as a standard component of our career planning tool. So while this service is very popular with members or employees, it is extremely popular with dependents, especially those about to graduate from college or from high school or from college or university. So as you can see, you can also take advantage of our resiliency coaching program. It is a customized program where our career counselors will work with you in putting strategies in place in resolving whatever in your work is causing you stress. And we also have a pre-retirement lifestyle planning tool as well, really helping focusing on those more social components of retirement, the components that are often overlooked. So everyone knows, of course, the financial importance of planning for retirement, but we can help you get that social plan in place as well, so that when you're financially ready, you're socially ready as well. So I just want to take a minute to talk about the intake experience through one of our Canadian call centers. At Mona Chappelle, we're really proud of being a Canadian company, and all of our call centers for our Canadian clients are included here in Canada. We have call center operations in Mississauga, in Toronto, in Ottawa, in Montreal, in Regina, and Vancouver. And all calls are answered live 24 hours a day. You will never have to leave a message or wait for a return phone call. So during that first call, a few things are going to happen. We're going to collect your basic personal information. So in this circumstance, the association name, so OREA, then your first name, your last name, your date of birth. That's all we need for intake. There's no certificate number, no password number. We're really trying to make accessing support as easy as possible. From there, we will identify whether it's an urgent or crisis situation. If it is, you'll be automatically warm transferred to speak with one of our counselors for as long as necessary, and they'll work with you to book additional services as needed. If it's not, one of our intake representatives will continue with a basic needs assessment in order to match you or your eligible family member with the most appropriate service or services that we have to offer, along with the most appropriate service professional. So as part of that needs assessment, we'll capture any lifestyle preferences you may have, because you may have a preference regarding your counselor's gender or age bandwidth or sexual orientation or cultural background, etc. So by capturing all those preferences up front, we're better able to match with the right fit the first time. From there, we will make a service recommendation, validate with you that that's what you're looking for, revise as necessary, and then continue to book services. So the other way to access our services is directly through the LifeWorks platform. And the LifeWorks platform was designed to be basically a desktop version and a mobile app. And the experience regarding whatever platform you're using is basically meant to be pretty much identical. I will be showing you the desktop version today, but again, I definitely recommend downloading the app. Just a great way of going paperless, great way of having the contact information at your fingertips and being able to take advantage of all the different tools available through the platform. We'll talk about downloading the app a little bit later. But basically, the LifeWorks platform is the hub for your members assistance program, or an entryway or contact point. I'll show you the wellbeing newsfeed where you can check out wellness posts that are posted by OREA. There's our new full suite of online counseling programs that's called Care Now, which we'll talk about, as well as I'll show you all the different toolkits. But really, it's like a wellness library. There's over 8,000 plus resources available for yourselves and for your family members through the platform itself. There's articles and videos and podcasts, infographics, including, again, a full suite of online counseling programs that's called Care Now. And Care Now is essentially was built upon the principles of cognitive behavioral therapy, where you can work through these modules at your own pace. So great for individuals who want to receive some support, but without that set scheduled appointment time that comes with our more traditional counseling services like in-person or telephone or video counseling, where essentially you can just participate in these programs at your own pace, but still be able to connect with a counselor at any time that you would like. So we'll talk about all the different Care Now programs available as well a little bit later. So right now, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a second, and I'm going to jump into the live demo. So just bear with me for 1 second. And maybe if someone can just confirm that you can see my screen, that would be appreciated. I know sometimes sharing a bit tricky with Zoom sometimes. Okay, great. Thank you very much for confirming. Thank you very much. So this is the homepage of the new LifeWorks platform. You can see how it's completely customized for OREA. On the left-hand side is all the contact information. So there's the link to the new Care Now that I was just referencing, which also lives under Wellbeing. So we'll cover it when we get there. There's a link to the Support and Resources tab, which is also found here at the top, as well as your Members Assistance Program telephone numbers. In the middle, you will see some featured articles that we pull from the Support and Resources tab that I'll show you. You can simply just scroll through those and get great up-to-date information. These resources are updated literally all the time. So some examples. Below that is the OREA newsfeed. So basically different wellness articles that are posted on a regular basis. So this one is how to build new habits, where you can click to read more. Some other examples would be 50 ways to practice self-care, having difficult conversations, anti-racism and allyship. So you can see the types of resources that are promoted through the newsfeed. The next tab that I want to show you is the support and resources tab. And you can pretty much think of this like an online wellness library. So right at the top, you'll see the contact information is always there in case you want to give us a call. And the site is navigatable under these main tabs. So family, health, life, money, and work. You can also scroll down a little bit and I'll show you these are the same featured articles that were posted on the newsfeed, but there's just more of them here. Below that is any quick links that we can add. So for example, this is the quick link to the Lift Session digital exercise program that I was referencing earlier. It's critical that you sign up and register through this link. So basically just click on this link and you'll be brought directly to the LifeWorks page. Just follow these instructions and you can start. And that's critical because this is how Lift Session, one of our partners, will recognize you as a Members Assistance Program client. And that's how you'll access the program for free. Lift Session is their own company. So if you do not register this way, there could be fees associated. So that's critical. Here's the link to that first chat service that I was referencing earlier, where you can connect with one of our counselors instantly in real time. So maybe you're, waiting for one of your evening appointments and your clients haven't showed up yet, and you actually just want to connect with one of our counselors or book an appointment. You can do so instantly in real time right on your mobile device through this first chat. The toolkit, so I'll come back to a little bit later. And below here, there'll be featured articles. So the series for April was around stronger relationships. If I keep scrolling, you can see how there was some with communication with your child. There's the mental health series that we launched in March. So very always up to date, very, very new. Below that will also be featured audio clips. So that's your preferred modality. Great, you could listen to them in the car, walking the dog, etc. And below that, any recently updated articles. And then at the very bottom, again, another link to the quick links, which I do want to show you the toolkits because just a great new feature of the platform. You can search for the toolkits under the main categories, just like at the top of the tab, or you can simply just scroll down and there's a lot of these. And the great thing about the toolkits is that we've basically pulled all the information together for you in one nice, concise sort of place. Maybe I'll show you one just so that you can see how comprehensive they are. Maybe I'll show you the mindfulness one. That's a pretty popular one right now. So you're looking for some tips on mindfulness. You can come into the toolkit. It'll show you how to get started, ways to practice, guided exercises. And you can see how this one is a combination of articles and podcasts. Sometimes there's videos. This one's probably a video there. So you can see how we've pulled everything together for you in one nice place. You have the option to print any articles or download them as PDF. And then below that, we'll also have some other recommendations for your consideration as well. So I also wanted to show you the new search functionality of the tool itself. So you can simply just type in whatever you're looking for. I'm just going to use stress as a good example because there's literally so many resources that we have on stress. There's probably going to be 500 plus resources here. So just give me 1 second as it populates. And what I really like about the new improved search functionality is how you can filter your results. So of course, 590 results could be a little bit overwhelming. So you can come in here and you can filter it for the area of life that you're looking at, which will help narrow down your search, or narrow it down by the modality. So for example, maybe I'm not interested in articles. Maybe I only want podcasts. I want to be able to listen to them in the car as I'm driving from appointment to appointment. I can simply just narrow my search to podcasts. The results will populate in a second. And then I can scroll down and then pick the one that I want. So maybe, again, practicing mindfulness to reduce stress, or kicking a bad habit, time saver tips. You can just see how comprehensive the resources are. Sorry. Last page that I want to show you is the new well-being tab that was added as well. And there's two portions basically in well-being. This will be the homepage where it'll have anything. So this will capture any modules that you're currently participating in. So this is the example of the Anxiety Care Now program. And then Care Now is, as I mentioned before, basically like digital counseling services. We have 9 different presenting issues. So anxiety, communication, tobacco and nicotine, grief, coping, separation, divorce, substance abuse, stress or depression. And basically self-paced counseling where you can come in and do these at your own time without, again, set scheduled appointment time. So I'll show you the anxiety one just very briefly, just so you can see how comprehensive it is. So it'll also always start by asking us how you're doing. And then if I just scroll down below, you can see how comprehensive it is. So it's always a series of learning and then tools. So anything marked here with the goals is basically exercises for you to do. And it's not always just reading. So just to show you how comprehensive one, and this one is 20 modules. So I'll show you the first one, just or the second one, just to show you what the experience would be like. So when you first open it, you listen, then you learn, you explore, you remember, and take action. So again, really designed about changing behavior patterns into positive behavior change, sort of that foundation of cognitive behavioral therapy. So great resources available, great to be able to do, at your own convenience, own time for those sort of those non-urgent or non-crisis situations, but you still want to improve your skill set in those areas of your life. And then the other component is basically 4 different health assessments covering basically all areas of health. So financial health, physical health, mental health, and social. And I'll show you the financial one because it's by far the shortest. You can see here only 6 questions regarding the other ones are 24 plus. So just click on financial health. It'll show you a little bit about the assessment itself. I'm just going to randomly answer the questions just for demo purposes. And then at the end, it will, in real time, show you results. It's going to show you the areas that you're doing well. It'll also then capture the areas of improvement. And as well as the areas of improvement underneath that, you can see it's actually going to provide targeted recommendations for you. Targeted recommendations for you from resources that are already in the LifeWorks platform. So maybe you want to take advantage again of the financial well-being toolkit. You could link to it right here instantly in real time to, start making strides toward improving your financial health. So highly recommend coming in and checking out the health assessments when you have time. So I'm going to just stop sharing. I'm going to come back to the deck. And I'll show you how to register. So registering is really easy on the desktop version. Simply just go to login.lifeworks.com. My apologies, I should have had the URL on the slide so I can follow up with that. But login.lifeworks.com. And then the username is OREA, as you can see, and the password being OREA 2020. That's as easy as it is to get into the platform. What I will say is, and I should have mentioned this when talking about Care Now and the assessments, as this is a shared login, when you are first prompted, when you first want to participate in Care Now or the total health assessments, the site will prompt you to create your own username and password, and that's how the site will protect your personal information. So that's how the site will recognize that only you can see that information, and there's easy setup instructions. It didn't pop up for me because I'm using an administrator access already using a unique identifier. But that's simply how you can access the platform through the desktop site. You can see the toll-free numbers to call your members assistance program. And then also, if you want to download the app, it's available on all the different app stores. So Google Play, the iOS App Store, and you can simply, once you download the app, there's a username and password right there. So you simply just insert again OREA as the username and password OREA 2020. And then again, once you write in, you can start using the resources directly through the platform. And again, if you're using anything that's requiring your own personal information, the site will prompt you to create that own personal account. In closing, I do want to take a couple minutes just to talk about quality assurance, because at LifeWorks by Mona Chappelle, we are really proud of the services that we provide, but there's absolutely always room for improvement. So please let us know how we're doing. So we value all your feedback, both positive and negative, but it's really the negative feedback that's critical that we hear so that we can do something about it. So you can see on this slide, it says after using the program, you can consent to completing a voluntary satisfaction survey, or with your consent, you can receive a follow-up call, basically just asking a couple questions regarding the program. Would you use it again? Would you recommend it to your colleagues? That type of thing. And this mechanism for feedback is great if you're happy with the service, but if you're not happy with any aspect of the service, please do not wait until it's over to let us know. Please simply just pick up the phone, give us a call. We'd be more than happy to record your comments and then make the appropriate changes as necessary. And I'll emphasize that our goal is to resolve all issues to your satisfaction. So please let us know how we're doing. And that's basically my presentation for everyone today. We can happily open the lines and see if there's any questions or comments. I'll also check the chat box. Just give me 1 second, please.
Greg, thank you so much for explaining this. I know both 2020 and 2021 have not been the easiest year for a lot of people mentally, and this has just been such a great program that OREA has brought forth for its members. And even if it's just one person who you guys help, you have done your job.
I see a question in here regarding my comment regarding our legal services. My apologies. It wasn't meant to be insulting. I'm really send my apologies to that. I know paralegals do an excellent job. I just know that our service, we're supposed to emphasize that all advice is always from the lawyer. So I didn't mean for that to be insulting, and my sincere apologies for that. Just seeing if there's any other questions.
Greg, there's two in the Q&A. There's one that says, are OREA members automatically enrolled, or are there extra fees?
So automatically enrolled, OREA members are automatically enrolled. There's no extra fees. But what I will emphasize, and I'm going to use the legal as another example, is sort of for the free legal advice, it's covered, there's no fees. But if you were to retain their services, that's sort of where our service ends and their service would begin. And then you would be responsible for the fees associated going forward. But for the counseling services, for any of the work-life services that we talked about, resources in the LifeWorks platform, absolutely no fees. And yes, I can certainly share a copy of the presentation, and then it can be distributed out.
And there's one final question here. Do our dependents log in the same way? And that's from Mindy Forrester.
Yes, you can simply just share those shared login credentials, and they can access the program the same way.
Awesome, Greg. Well, I again want to thank you for your time, for being with us this morning. For those who are watching, if you missed anything, this will be available on the OREA YPN Facebook page, as well as OREA's YouTube channel. So if you miss anything, you can go back and rewatch it. It should be up in a couple days, but it will be posted when it is available. Greg, once again, thank you so much. And for those in the audience, join us back on May 5th for our next webinar, talking about working with first-time buyers, a panel with our own YPN committee. So guys, thank you and have a great day.
James, there's a couple more questions that are coming in. If we have a minute.
Yeah, sure. I mean, by all means, you can continue then. Go ahead. Sorry, Greg. No
problem at all. So it says one of the questions is what type of financial support are available for new real estate representatives who join? So that's a great question. So our financial services in general are regarding financial strategies really for all aspects of life. So whatever your financial goals are, we can work with you to help put strategies in place to help you accomplish them. And then another question's coming in saying, I'm on the app, what is my unique code? So you don't need a unique code. Again, use the username and password. So for the username, put in OREA, and then for the password, OREA 2020. Similar question, so log in asking for invitation code. You don't need the invitation code. Again, go right to the username and the password, and that should get you in. And I do want to, again, just thank everyone. I'm just going to scroll down and see if there's any more. Please repeat the login info. Yeah, so just let me scroll back to that page. I will see if I can go back, but it's OREA and OREA 2020 for the username and password. Are these services available to agents who are not young and new? Yes, absolutely it is. Please help us share the news. This was just intended for this audience today, but it's for all members. It's a great question as well.
Hi, I'm not sure if my mic is open.
It is.
Hi, thank you so much. The comment I made was not to put you on the spot. It's just as a member of the LSO, we're trying to be as inclusive, our lawyers and our paralegals. So thank you for your apology and acknowledgement. I appreciate that. However, I did want to make a comment because I do crisis work for the Law Society. This has been a very trying 2 years. In fact, I'm doing a panel discussion on mental health in the LSO next month. And I would encourage everyone to take advantage of this program. I know there's quite a bit of stigma sometimes, especially, we show ourselves to the public as being all together and being very strong and always being on top of things, but it has been a very trying year. And for some people, it's been trying well before COVID. So if I can encourage anyone with the deepest of sincerity to take advantage, to go into the portal, to look, to find what works for you. And the only thing that I would say, and no, I'm not being paid by anyone. It's just, I've had a lifetime in HR and in doing crisis work. So if you can, if you don't find the right person for you in terms of somebody that you're going to speak to, for whatever reason you don't click, please just go back in and see if you can find someone else to speak to. These are the times where we need to get as much support as possible. And to OREA, my deepest heartfelt thank you for bringing this program on board. Much needed. And I'm glad at least we got to this point to be able to do this. I really deeply appreciate that you've taken on this program.
Well, thank you very much for sharing. And again, my apologies for the comment earlier. I wasn't intending it. Again, my apologies for that. And I love the point that you also raised regarding counselor fit. So that's going back to what I was saying about satisfaction. We know this is all about, you're not going to get good results if it's not a good fit with your assigned provider. So perfect example of just calling us back. We'd be more than happy to assign a new provider. Maybe your counseling appointment times aren't convenient for whatever reason. Again, call us back. We'd be more than happy to accommodate your schedules as well. So I honestly, thank you very much for sharing that. That was great. Appreciate it. All right, well, I do want to thank everyone again very much for your time today. It was a pleasure to be here. If there's any follow-up questions, you can send them through or just simply give us a call. Our team of experts is amazing at just answering your questions as well. So you can use that avenue to get questions answered as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Greg, once again. And for those watching, we will see you on May 5th for our panel on first-time buyers.